Did you know that not just any three segment lengths can actually make a triangle? There are some certain rules that go along with them. So you know if you can actually make a triangle out of three side lengths or if you cannot. And the way that we figure that out is using what's called the triangle inequality theorem. And basically it says the sum of the lengths of any two sides of the triangle is greater than the length of the third side. Specifically, so the sum of, the two shortest sides must be greater than the third side. Okay, so that's essentially what we're looking at today. In order to make a triangle, we are going to look at like ordering the sides of the triangle in order from small, medium, and large. And when we add small plus medium, in order to make a triangle, it has to be bigger than the large. Okay, that's essentially how you can know very quickly whether if you have these three sides, whether yes or no, they will actually make a triangle or not. So let's look at this here. So let's decide yes, no, if they will. So we've got, if we think small, medium, and large, our 4 is going to be our smallest side, our 9 is going to be our medium length side, and our 10 is going to be our largest. So small plus medium, 4 plus 9. Our largest side is 10, so we're going to add together our two smallest sides, and we have to decide, is that going to be greater than, greater than, less than, or equal to? Well, 4 plus 9 is 13. When we compare that to 10, 13 is greater than 10. Greater than means that, yes, if I were to give you 3 sticks, a 4-foot long stick, a 9-foot long stick, and a 10-foot long stick, and said make a triangle out of those, yes, you would be able to make a triangle out of those. Okay, the next one, we have 18, 9, and 8. Remember, we need to make sure that we order them small, medium, large. Okay, and then we add our small and our medium together, and we compare it to the longest side. So in this case, 9 plus 8 is 17. We compare 17 and 18. 17 is less than. Less than means that no, you cannot actually make a triangle with those three side lengths. So if I gave you, again, 3 sticks that were 8 meters, 9 meters, and 18 meters, no matter how you tried to finagle them, you would not be able to make a triangle out of those 3. Okay, and then this last one, again, we need to make sure they're in order, small, medium, large. So we'd have 5, 7, and 12. So when we add our small and our medium together, we're going to compare it to the large. 5 plus 7 is 12. Well, 12 equals 12. And in this case, if they are equal, equal means that no, you could not actually make a triangle. Okay? The second big idea that we are going to look at is how we could actually order the lengths of the sides of a triangle. Okay, if we are given a picture that has labeled with angle measures or anything like that, it's a fairly logical idea. Okay, the conclusion you can make about the measure of an angle and the length of the side opposite of it. Okay, so the larger the angle, the longer the opposite side, right? So remember, we're talking about the opposite side here. So I think we all can agree, if we look at this triangle right above it here, that's an obtuse angle. That's definitely a large angle, right? It's an obtuse angle, which would mean that this side across from it is going to be large as well. So if we look at this angle here, the smaller one, the side across from it is going to be shorter. Okay, so the bigger the angle, the larger the angle, the longer the opposite side. And the opposite side, remember, is across from it. The opposite side is across from it. Okay, so the larger the angle, the longer the opposite side. The smaller the angle, the shorter the side is that's opposite of it. Okay, the longer the side, the larger the opposite angle is, and the shorter the side, the smaller the opposite angle actually is. And again, just remembering how we find opposite sides and angles. Okay, if I am talking about, if we kind of look up here at this triangle, if I am talking about that angle in the lower right-hand corner, the side that is opposite of it is going to be across, and it will not touch that corner. If I am talking about this angle here, the side opposite of it is going to be this side that does not intersect it. And again, if I'm talking about this angle up here, up on the top, the side that is opposite is going to be this one down here. So just making sure we understand how we find the side that is opposite of it. So let's look at an example here, right? So we have a triangle, 51 degrees, 47 degrees. If we are going to list the sides, not the angles, the sides. I know they tell us angles, but we are going to use the angles to figure out the sides. If we are ordering them least to greatest, we have to know all three angles, right? So we remember that the triangle sum says that when we add our angles together, they will always equal 180. So if we're going to add them together, 51 plus 47 plus, I'm going to call it F because it's angle F, will equal 180. And if we combine our like terms and we subtract from both sides, angle F is going to equal 82 degrees. Okay, so let's go ahead and label that in there, 82 degrees. Okay, so now let's do a little figuring out here, right? So I've got 82, the side opposite of it is here, okay? And then I've got 47 is over here, the side opposite of it is here. And then, let's see, we'll go green, 51, and the side opposite of it is over here, okay? So now we are going, based on the angle measures, we are going to decide which is this, kind of like small, medium, and large. There's three of everything here, small, medium, and large. So 47 is our smallest angle, right? Which means that the side opposite is going to be our smallest side, okay? 51 is basically our medium size angle. It's our next largest. So 47, then 51. So this is going to be like our medium, our middle, okay? And then 82 is the largest. Oops, the daisies, I was going to do that in colors here, is the largest. Okay, so what that means, if we are listing the sides, remember it takes 2 points to name a side or a segment. If we're going shortest to longest, shortest would be the smallest, so we would have DF would be the shortest, the middle would be EF, and then the longest would be DE. And we figured that out based on the measure of the angles. Okay, and you can go the other way as well with it. Okay, so we've got a stage prop for a show. It's a large triangular mountain. The bottom edge of the mountain is about 32 feet. Okay, the left slope is 24 feet, and the right slope is, let's go green maybe, green, 26 feet. Okay, so, and it asks us list the angles in order least to greatest. So if we're thinking opposite angles and sides, so 24, it's kind of hard to see the highlights there, 24 and angle L are opposite of each other. 24 is the shortest, which means angle L is going to be the smallest. Okay, and then after that, we would have, I'm not doing very good with colors, 26 would be like the mid, it would be like the mid size, which means the side opposite of it, angle J, is going to be the middle sized. And then 32 is the largest side, which means angle K is going to be the largest angle. So when we order our angles least to greatest, our smallest was angle L, our middle size was angle J, and our largest was angle K. Okay? If you want to take a minute, pause the video, see if you can do these three on your own. It's just basically practicing with the same thing that we just did. So go ahead and pause the video, try them, and then check. Okay, if you want to double check what you have, these should be your correct answers. Okay, and then the last thing, So again, going back to possible side lengths of a triangle, if I give you two side lengths, there's only a certain range of values that the third side actually could be. So for instance, in this example, a triangle has one side is 14, another side is 9, and then depending on how far we open the angle with that, those two sides, tells us what's the longest length and what's the shortest length that it could have. So to find the shortest possible length that you could have if you have a 14 and a 9, you should subtract your two given sides. And we're always going to subtract big minus small. So 14, so we're going to subtract 14 minus 9, which is 5. So that's going to be your shortest possible length. So we're going to call our missing side x. So we know that x has to be greater than 5. Okay. However, what's the longest it can be? To find the longest possible length, you should add the two together. Okay. And so when we add 9 plus 14, we get 23, which means that's the maximum length. So that means that x should be less than that number. When we go to put it into a compound inequality, here's how we write compound inequalities. So we are basically saying that our value of x that we have has to be between, so we are physically going to put our x in between our smallest value and our largest value. And then with an inequality, we always point our inequality towards the smaller number in the same direction. So this is basically a compound way of saying the other two inequalities that we just wrote. And it is saying that our x value has to be between 5 and 23. Okay, so let's look at one more example here. Okay, I have 12 inches and I have 20 inches. I've got 12 inches and 20 inches. The shortest possible means I'm going to subtract. 20 minus 12 is 8, so I know that x has to be greater than 8. Longest possible is if I add them together, and I get 32, so it has to be, longest it can be is 32. When I put them in a compound inequality, x is between, we're going to put x in between, our smallest always goes on the left, our biggest always goes on the right, and we always point our inequality symbol, both of them, same direction towards the smaller number. Okay, here's a couple more examples really quick that don't take you through the process. So I know that x is going to be between, when I subtract 18.5 minus 6.5, I get 12. When I add 18.5 and 6.5, I get 25. So my possible values for my third side of my triangle are going to be between 12 and 25. Notice there is no or equal sign underneath either of those inequalities, so it can't equal 12 and it can't equal 25. It has to be greater than or less than those numbers. And again, my x is going to be between, pointing in the same direction, smaller number, 39 minus 4 is 35, 39 plus 4 is 43. So we will have a class kick that you need to work on when you finish these video notes.